Okay, continuing on with our floor plan, we're going to look at a couple things in this video. We're going to look at adding the detail on the front porch, okay, in terms of the posts and the stairs. We'll add the stairs in here, and then I'll show you how to construct a window, okay, and then that'll be this video. I'll do another video that will show you how to add the blocks for the doors and some of the appliances, kitchen appliances and bathroom fixtures and whatnot. And then probably a third video to talk about creating the second floor plan. Just give you some tips on that. And then don't forget, I still have more videos for the dimension styles, okay, and textiles. That'll probably be in one video as well. So all right, so let's get started. So let's look at the porch first. So on the porch, we remember from the blueprint that we're basically making a copy of. The porch is shown here, kind of a nice wraparound porch. And then we have these posts that are supporting the roof on the porch. We have one in the corner here, another in the corner here, two on this long side, and then one right in the middle here. Now it says on the reference sheet with the assignment that the size of the posts are up to you. So 4-inch, 6-inch, 8-inch, 10-inch, whatever you want to do. I'm going to use 8-inch posts. Okay, so let's get started with that. So I want to make sure I'm on the porch layer. Okay, which is white, continuous lines. And I'm going to go ahead and offset 8 inches. I'm going to offset this line and this line and this line. Okay, and then I can trim everything here to create those two corner posts. Okay, now I'm going to show you a little trick for getting this mid post, this middle post right in there. Okay, so we have a post that needs to go right on the middle of this side of the porch, right? So basically right where that blue dot is. Okay, and of course we have object snap midpoint, which we can put in there, but we don't really have a center position right here. Okay, so and we talked about this in, I think it was module 1, might have been module 2, but we're going to use object snap tracking. Okay, so we want to make sure that our object snap tracking is on, and we want to make sure that object snap is on, obviously. Okay, so now watch this. All right, we're going to go to the copy command, and we're going to select this post. Now notice it's only 2 lines because that's all, it doesn't connect, pick this line and that line. That's fine, we'll add those in there. Certainly we don't need that line. So then I'm going to hit enter, and for my base point I'm going to pick the midpoint of this edge of the post. Okay, now I'm going to click, and that becomes my handle, so to speak. And I'm going to move the handle so that it is right there, right? But that's not correct. If I click, that would place the post there, and clearly the post is on the wrong side of the edge of the porch. So what I'm going to do now, I haven't clicked yet, I'm going to track up right there. And you see how that creates that green dotted line intersection? I'm going to click, and then there we go. Okay, let me do that one more time. What's important on this is the not clicking part. Okay, so let's go to copy. So I'll tell you when I click. I'll say click. Okay, so I'm going to window these objects. I'm going to hit enter. It says specify the base point. I'm going to move right to this point, and I'm going to click. Now I'm going to move it to the midpoint here, and then drag it up. And when I get the intersection green lines, then I'm going to click. Okay, that is sure to impress people who know AutoCAD that you can do that. All right, so that's that one. Now over here, we have a little different scenario. We have 2 edges or 2 posts that we need to add in here. So we're going to use another command. We haven't talked about this command yet. This is kind of one of those commands that's out there on the periphery and you don't really use it, but boy, when you do use it, it sure is helpful. And that's the divide command. Okay, So the divide command is under modify, and where is it? I always have trouble finding it. It's maybe it's under draw. Oh yeah, you know what? It's under draw. My bad. Divide. Okay. So what we're going to do with divide, before we do divide, let's look at the drawing here. Okay. So notice that because we have two columns in the middle here, we have three sections of porch. We have this section right here between column 1 and column 2. We have this section right here between column 2 and column 3, and this section right here between column 3 and column 4. So we have three sections, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So now we go to the divide command. Divide. It says select objects to divide, and I want to divide this. Number of segments. How many did I just count? I have 3 segments that I want to divide this into. So basically, I'm going to be dividing this line into 3 segments. So I hit enter, and then what happened? Well, what did it do? Well, this is kind of the curious thing with the divide command. What it did was it added what are called nodes or points at the point where the sections are divided. We can't normally see those because they're in the middle of the line. So watch, I'm going to go to the move command, and I'm going to window this whole area right there, right? So clearly I'm not going to get the line there, the edge of the porch, because I'm not getting the whole porch in there. But watch, I hit enter, and then I'm going to move off of this, and can you see that? It's very light. I'm going to move straight off. There's one point and another point, okay? So now what do I do with it? Well, these points are positioned exactly where the midpoint of the column should be, okay? Now how do we grab a point? Well, this is a new object snap that we haven't used before, and that is the node object snap. So I actually have it turned on, node, and that's how we grab this point. So here's what we can do. Let's go to copy, and let's go and we'll window that. Okay, and we're going to use the same technique with the object snap tracking. Okay, so I'm going to position over here, and I'll tell you when I click. I'm going to click to grab that as my base point, and I'm going to move it over here. And now what do I want to do? I want to grab that node and track it off right there. Boom. All right, grab that node and track it off. Click. All right, let me do that one more time, because you know I want to make sure that we see that. And in fact, I'm going to undo that. Let's move this back. So these points, I moved them back right there. Okay. So I'm going to move those off. Actually, we don't need to move them if you know they're there. I like to move them because sometimes I don't know where they are. So we go right there. We hit enter. Now here, I do want to say this though. You want to be careful when you move this off like this, that you don't go at an angle. Right? See how I'm moving at an angle? Even, I want to make sure I'm moving it straight off. You don't want to move it, because if you move it at an angle, guess what? You've messed everything up. So I'm just going to move them off right there. Okay, making sure to move them off laterally, horizontally, not at an angle. Now I'm going to go to the copy command. I'm going to grab this, enter. Pick the midpoint, click. Come over here to the node, track it up. Click. Come over here to the node, track it up, click. And then there we go. Okay, so that's a little trick. Of course, if you don't, and then don't forget to erase your points. That's a little trick. If you don't feel comfortable do that, you can certainly just brute force it. You can calculate, it's not difficult to figure out the distance across here. All right, so there's your porches. Now let's talk about the stairs over here. The stairs that we actually have stairs right here on the side, and it says in your reference sheet that these are 9-inch treads. Okay, and it doesn't give you a length for these, so this is going to be something that you can figure out on your own. You know, you become the architect at this point. I'm going to choose 4-foot long stairs. So I'm going to, let's see, I want to get this line. I want to find the midpoint of this line. So here's a little trick here. Because look, if I go to the midpoint of this line, the midpoint of this line is right there. Well, that's not going to help me. I want the midpoint right here. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to draw a line from here to here. And now the midpoint there, I can track out. Okay, is that not a neat little trick, right? So the midpoint of that edge is the midpoint of this line right here. So these should be, this could be on the stairs layer. Remember, we have a stairs layer, or it could also be on the porch layer because I guess it's part of the porch. I'm going to put it on the stairs layer because technically it's stairs. So I'm going to offset this 2 foot. And I'm going to erase this and trim this up. This should be on the stairs layer. And they're 9-inch treads, so offset 9 inches here and here. And then there we go. Okay. If you think those should be a little bit larger, then that's fine. 5 foot, whatever. Now, if I want to add the stairs over here too, we're going to go 9. While I'm on the stairs layer, we're going 9-inch treads, so we can draw a line across here. Offset 9 inches. Come forward, 2. And then it looks like this going across here. Again, offset. And if I'm counting correctly, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that one looks a little bit short, so I'm going to erase that one. 9-inch, there we go. All right, and then I'll just draw a line from here to here to finish off that stair. Okay, so you can see the stairs going up right there. Okay. So we got the stairs done. Let's look at the windows, and then that'll be it for this video. So the windows here, I drew one sample window. A lot of the window detail is made up. Okay. Certainly you can use blocks. A lot of times if you're working with an architect, you will have a window block from the window manufacturer. That will have more detail. In this case, we don't have a specification of the manufacturer, so we're just using the window information. But I do want to point out that we are given information on the windows. So for example, you see this window up here, the one that we're looking at right there. This window, it says it's 2 30/60s. Okay, so the way you read this, one dimension is the width of the window. The other dimension is the height of the window. So, and there's 2 windows here, right? This is one window right here, and it is 3 foot 0 inches. So this is 3 foot 0 from here to here. And then the second window, this is 3 foot 0 from here to here. And the height is 6 feet. So this is a 6 foot high window, 6 foot tall window. Of course, we don't need to worry about the height because we're not drawing any elevations. But the width, so this is 3 feet from here to here. So the total opening is going to be 6 feet, 3 feet and 3 feet. There's 2 of them. So over here, for example, this window right here is a 2 foot 6 opening and a 3 foot high window. All right, so we can go along here. Again, this is a 2 foot 6 opening with a 3 foot high window, 2 foot 6, 3 foot high. This is 3 windows, 1, 2, 3, that are 2 feet in width. and then 6 feet high. All right, so the rest of the detail in here is kind of up to you. So what I did was I used 2 inches, right? I offset 2 inches to create this ledge there, this kind of window ledge, and then I offset 2 inches for the simulation of the I guess you could call it the glazing, right? So this line is a continuation of the wall. You can see that's thick, and then these are on the window layer. And so that's why it looks like that. Okay. Now let's go and do this one over here. So we see that the dimension to the center of the window is 6'2", right? So 6'2" from the outside edge here. So 6'2". So I can go like this. Let me change my layer to the window layer. Offset 6'2", and from here to here. Okay. And then I'm going to let's trim that while we're here. And I'm going to offset, what's the width on that? 2'6". So I'm going to offset 1'3", like so. All right. Now I'm going to trim off, whoops. I'm going to trim off that part, okay, and get rid of this line right there. And now I want to add that detail, right? This line we want to stay, right? You can see that in the drawing. But now I'm just going to use 2 inches. Again, this is arbitrary. I made up these dimensions. You might be, wanting to use different dimensions, but this works. So I'm going to offset 2 inches. 1, 2, and then I'm going to go here, here, and here. Whoops, wrong side. All right, now what is all that mess that I made? Well, watch. We're going to use the fillet command with a radius of 0. All right, and I'm going to do a fillet between here and here. I'm going to do a fillet between here and here. And then I can trim out everything else. And I need to change the layer. This should be on the window layer, and there's our window. Okay, so very easy. And in fact, once you have this down, you don't need to do this again. So this is a 2'6" window. So watch. Where is there another 2'6" window? Let's bring this back in here. So there's another 2'6" window right there. 14'6" from the top surface. All right, and then there's another one here, 17'9" from the top surface. All right, so let's do this one, 14'6" first. So watch how I do this. 14'6". So whoops, let's go. There we go. So I'm going to offset 14'6", and I'm going to offset this down right there. So that's the center of the window. Okay, now here's the key, right? I want to get this down there. But notice I got to get this down here and I got to rotate it. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is copy it. So let's copy. I'm going to select all that. Notice I only got the parts of the window that I really need. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to, I don't care where I grab it here. Okay, it does not matter. So I'm just going to pick a point right there, and I'm going to move it right over there. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to rotate, and I'm going to use the rotate command, and I'm going to grab this, and I want to rotate it, and here I could pick a rotation point, a base point right there, and I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees, like so. Aha, now we're ready. Now we're cooking. So I'm going to go to the move command now. I'm going to click on, I'm going to select everything here, and where do I want to move it? I want to move the base point. Watch, I'm going to pick the base point right. Where do I want the base point? Yeah, what I want is I want the base point right here, and I'm going to track off. How am I going to do that? All right, watch, 2 inches right there. Did you see that? Yeah, I know you didn't. So watch, let's do that again. All right, so this is a super advanced ninja way to do this. Okay, so watch. We're going to go to move. Well, let's talk about what we want to do. First, we want to move this so that the midpoint right here is even with that point right there, but 2 inches off. Remember, we offset this 2 inches. So here's how we do this. Move, window, and I'll say click again. Click the midpoint. Go to the endpoint, don't click, track up. How far do we want to track up? Type in 2 for 2 inches. And then there we go. All right, people. Let's trim this out. We got to clean this up. We got an extra line in there. We got to get rid of that. We got to get rid of that. And there we go. Okay, let me do that again. This is 17'9", so we're going to offset 17'9" from here to here. Okay. Now I'll show you a couple ways we can do this. Obviously, for this one, we could use the mirror command. We could go to mirror and grab this right there, and we could mirror it. Now, where's our mirror plane? You know, it doesn't matter because we're going to have to move it in 2 steps. So I'm going to put a mirror plane right there. I just picked a point. It moves it right there. That's fine. Okay. Or we could copy and rotate it over here. That doesn't matter. What matters is doing this. So we go to move again, window, enter, click, go to the endpoint, track off, type in 2 inches, enter. And then we can trim this stuff out and erase that stuff, and we're good to go. Okay, you're on your way to being a power user if you can do that stuff. Okay, so I will see you in the next video. In the next video, we will look at adding blocks to this for the furniture and the doors. And then after that, we'll look at starting the second floor plan. And then after that, we'll talk about dimension styles and textiles. Okay, see you then.